Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be playing with watercolors in my sketchbook. This is my Talons art creation sketchbook as always, and I'm using my Rembrandt watercolor set. I've actually had this set for years, but anyways, grab yourself a comforting drink and I hope you enjoy the video. So I woke up today and I just wasn't jiving with anything I was making. I tried drawing cats and owls, that didn't work. I even tried drawing inanimate objects, like a telephone, and I was getting frustrated. But then I watched a video by The Wild Pencil here on YouTube, and that motivated me to pull out my watercolor set, because I don't use it enough. Honestly, I was planning to make a video where I finish my small white sketchbook, because right now I've got 12 pages left, while on this sketchbook I've got 20 pages. Which is exciting, honestly. I'm ready to finally move on from these two sketchbooks. I've been using them for as long as 3 years and honestly, it's time to move on. By the way, I'm just painting this sycamore that I saw on Pinterest. I think I've drawn this exact tree reference before, but with markers, but it's just a really perfect tree to reference, what can I say? By the way, I am sorry in advance to any watercolor artists watching this video. I have no technique. I have no practice with watercolor, well, hardly any. So, yeah, just a heads up. While I was painting, they were going absolutely crazy on the rugby field outside my window. So I listened to Epic the Musical, naturally, start to finish because I'm super normal and sane about this musical. But also Tomino's latest album, Every Dawn's a Mountain. And oh my goodness, this album is amazing, start to finish. Let me know in the comments if you're also a Tomino fan, because I've loved this music for a while now, and when this album released, plus with the song he did with Mitsuhiko, it's so beautiful. I love his storytelling, his voice is so beautiful, and in a lot of the songs, it's almost haunting, if that makes sense. I think I need to find a deep dive into the songs, like when Hozier's Unreal on Earth album released, and everyone was making analysis of them. Are there any Tomino fans that are that dedicated? I'm sure. Maybe I should do that myself though, if no one else already has. The song Every Dawn's a Mountain specifically reminds me of Haymitch Abernathy from The Hunger Games, which segues perfectly into my next talking point, because I'm currently reading Sunrise on the Reaping, which was completely unplanned for my March reading goals. I was just window shopping at the bookstore when I saw the beautiful hardback copy of the book and I impulsively bought it. I had to. See, I usually only buy a book after I've read 5 or maybe more books from my shelves, but I just couldn't resist. I knew I would start reading it immediately, so that's 28 euros well spent. I have yet to read A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I'm kind of mad at myself for not reading it prior, but maybe now that cements my need to read that one. Maybe sometime this year. I've watched the movie, but I heard the book, of course being worth it no matter how much I enjoy the movie, is just a little different with how it portrays Snow, and I didn't like Snow in the movie, of course. I thought he was lacking in a few aspects, so I'm interested to see how he is in the book. I won't spoil anything of Sunrise in the Reaping, and I'm sorry if you're not a Hunger Games fan. You poor soul, you had to hear me yammer on about the series. But there are a few certain references in the book that will make a little more sense to me if I read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Fun fact, I haven't fully watched the Hunger Games movies. I watched up until halfway through Catching Fire, and then I never continued. I don't even know why. It's not like I didn't like it. After I finish this book, I'll go and watch all the Hunger Games movies start to finish, because especially in the current political state of the world, the Hunger Games is very relevant. I wonder how the movie for Sunrise on the Reaping will be. I hope it'll be very similar to how the first Hunger Games movie handled the book. There was a certain rawness that I didn't get with the movie catching fire, and I know the director wasn't the same for the first versus the rest of the movies. Sunrise on the Reaping aside, I've been having a really good reading year so far. I've read 23 books, and many have been really good books. I have high hopes for this spring in terms of reading. I hope I get a proper audiobook subscription because I have been getting really into audiobooks lately, and they're great to play while doing line art and coloring or playing Animal Crossing, which I did very often when I was reading The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. I have yet to read the 4th book and the 5th. I miss my routine of listening to that for 2 hours a day and playing Animal Crossing in the evenings. I love when I feel really excited about reading and books I've read and books I plan to read, because that flow is just unbeatable. I was writing about this in my journal, but I wish I could get into this kind of flow state with art. In the same way, I mean, because yes, I do get really excited about art, but it has its ebbs and flows much more than with reading. But I guess that's impossible to ask for, considering one is consuming media while the other is creating. After this book, I want to read a few short books I own about Norse mythology. I have 3 in mind. One is about Odin, one is about Loki, and one about Ragnarok. I have to say I don't know all that much about Norse mythology, putting aside what I've learned from Marvel, unfortunately, and Magnus Chase by Rick Riordan, which is one of my favorite book series. Talking about Magnus Chase, actually, I have yet to read the last book, which is really more of a collection of short stories following the characters titled 9 of the 9 Realms. I couldn't find it for the life of me in store, but recently I visited a bookshop I haven't been to in 3 years, and I saw it, but I held back because I wasn't in the mood for Norse mythology. That day I was in the mood for a gothic tale and got Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, by the way, which if you're looking for a gothic novel, I really recommend that book. Actually, I recommend it regardless. It's amazing, and I rated it 4.5 stars out of 5. This part of the watercolor process was very fun. I love how the water sort of danced around the page, had the light meshed with the dark, and just added a lot of, layering to the tree. I didn't actually think I would be able to achieve that sort of layering and dimension to the tree, but I say it's not that bad. Now onto the colored pencils part. I didn't know how I would go about this part of the coloring process. I wanted to emphasize the leaves in the tree and also draw in trees in the background and the grass, but this is a very go with the flow kind of page. Whatever ends up working will work kind of thing. So yeah, I do a lot of texture variety around the landscape, sort of blending in this tree, but also putting a lot of texture and detail into the background. I like how this tree turned out. The colors are very vibrant, and the colored pencils, my Faber-Castell Polychromos, really added the finishing touches to it. Or half of the job, honestly. I'm very happy with this page, though I'm sad about how much the paper crumbled under the layers of watercolor, so the colored pencils didn't show up as vividly as they usually do with no watercolor. I don't use watercolor enough, so I didn't expect that reaction. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly am satisfied with the end result, and let me know what you got up to while you watch the video. I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye bye!